Okay, let me turn this on.
5 minutes behind.
Okay, whenever you're ready, Mr. Chairman, it's on.
Okay, it is Thursday, the 17th, no, it's not. It's the 24th of April, 6:05, and I call this meeting to order. We have quorum. We will start with the U.S. Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor
Under the Texas flag, I pledge
Allegiance to thee,
Texas, one state.
one and indivisible.
One and indivisible, and almost a nation. Could be if we want.
Okay, first part is is there any citizen comment? No citizen comment. New business, consideration and action to approve the final plat of the SCC Floresville Partners Limited for the property at the address of 908 10th Street. You all know what it's about. I do want to make an opening statement on this. It's very important that the P&Z committee members, board members here, understand the duties and what we have to do, regardless of whether we personally want this here or whether we're being called 100 times this week by people that don't want to hear. That is not what we're here to decide. We're here to look at the plat and approve that on the basis of all the T's being crossed and the I's being dotted. We adjourned, we declined this at the last meeting because there were too many questions, particularly on the text dot letter, that we didn't have answers to. Hopefully you gentlemen can give us all those answers tonight. So let's open it up and
Okay, in your packets, I had put a memo in there explaining the submission of the plat. We received the letter submittal from the developers of SCC on April the 8th. The legal address of this property is 90810. The developer plans to build a retail convenience store. And these are the comments to this plat. TxDOT review. All comments from TxDOT and the city's engineer, Mr. Heimer, have been addressed by receipt of the TxDOT review letter dated March 29, 2014. There is water and sewer. The existing water easement is shown on the plat as required. There is water and sewer service available at this site. There was some stuff about the electrical easement dedication, but they did clean that up. If you want to verify that with the committee, they did verify that and it's shown on this plat. In summary to this report, the city's engineer, Mr. Heimer, recommends approval of this plat on the standpoint of the access to this property will require the developer to submit for driveway permits with TxDOT. There are existing access points to this property, and any improvements done for the driveways will require permits from TxDOT. Please review the notes to the no objections of the March 26, 2014 letter from TxDOT. And it's in parentheses through maximum access point. The notes show that the TxDOT will allow right-in, right-out access. And we all know that this was presented to P&Z on April 9th, but was tabled due to lack of votes necessary for action. And then we got it again on April 17th, but again, if we didn't have sufficient information to make it, that was denied, and here we are today.
Cindy, I got one question on the last 2 times that we met on this.
Yes, sir.
One of the plans we were given was this one here.
Yes.
This one shows a McDonald's.
Yes, and again, that's just a concept plan. That's not anything concrete. That's just purely concept, just to give us a vision of what may or may not be. But that's just It's purely concept.
You have it on your.
So can we clarify that? Is it your intention to put a McDonald's there or not?
No, it's not.
And it's not on this. I'm sure we've seen some of the comments in the newspaper this week. And I want to clarify that this is not a truck stop in my understanding of a truck stop, because it doesn't have showers and overnight parking. And so, but it does have more diesel lanes than any other gas station in Floresville. So there's a clear intention there to obviously.
No.
No, that's the one.
Yeah, this one is.
We had some questions on some of TxDOT's comments. TxDOT's non-objection to the plan is under the condition that CST Brands has the right to access and use the adjacent property owned by others for ingress and egress.
Yes,
That's been approved?
that is, well, I have an email here from two different people at TxDOT. One is Judy Friedenhall, who is in the traffic department.
In the district office out of San Antonio.
And then the other one is from Brian Hooker, who's the area engineer. And,
Maybe I can answer the question. There are two recorded easements that are associated with this property. One is this easement right here that allows us access, and this easement right here that is dedicated from Floresville Independent School District to Wilson County, that also provides us access.
So you are saying you have approval from the property owned by others?
Yes.
yes, there's a recording easement, especially from the Floresville ISD.
What did you want from the county? What about?
No, that's actually, this is owned by the school property. We have an easement right here. It's a utility easement as well as an access easement. Here's a copy of it if you'd like to see it. And this is an easement that was granted from Floresville Independent School District to Wilson County.
That is a roadway easement.
Those are after the 26th of March letter?
No, sir, they were recorded prior to that.
Those have been submitted to TxDOT, reviewed by the area, Brian Hoker, and the already approved. That item has been addressed with TxDOT with these two recorded easements.
But there's nothing that's been done with the county?
No, it's a recorded easement.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
if I may.
Please.
I made an inquiry, I'm Lou Rosenberg, I'm the attorney for the city. And at 4:30 this afternoon, I talked to Jessica Castelloni, asking questions about basically page 2 of these conditions. And I'm not trying to catch anybody off guard on raising the questions at this hour, but having done the Walmart and having done the McCoy's access easements and having done a lot of business with Brian Hoker, what he did here that I have before me is in his March 26th letter where he checks off no objection. He has a nice big but small to the eye asterisk. And the asterisk carries over to the second page. And therein lies my problem with this document, which is at paragraph 2, they're not numbered. At paragraph 2, he says the existing driveway to the ISD residue is not adequate for the volume and type of traffic anticipated and will need to be re-permitted and reconstructed. So are you saying you have something that does that?
We do not have, or go ahead, excuse me.
I have a letter here from Brian Hooker on April 14th.
More recent than
More
what we
recent
have?
than this. And it is from a subsequent meeting that we had with Judy Friesenhahn. He had sent the traffic impact analysis to Judy Friesenhahn for review and analysis.
The one dated March 21st?
I believe so.
26th.
The letter is the 26th, but
But the TIA.
the TIA is dated the 21st.
And she sent Brian Hoker an email that says, I had a good meeting with Rennie Arredondo, who's the gentleman that did the traffic impact analysis, Terry Rogers and Scott Haney with CST this morning, and I support the approving of the driveway permits, which is from the TIA.
Okay.
We are going to coordinate signal ops. She goes on to talk about what they're gonna do with the signalizations of the roads, and how they wanna move forward with, any impacts that we're gonna have with, widening or, improvements to their facilities with this roadway.
Has this committee been furnished that?
No, sir.
I have copies of this. If y'all haven't seen it yet, I have copies of the
It's
emails.
not,
I haven't received it.
Okay. Do you have copies you can pass out so
Sure.
they're all seen?
I have 10 copies. There,
Is that one or?
this is Hoker's email from Judy Friesenhahn email, and there's, like I said, 10 copies I can
This is
get.
that one.
I mean, is that one designed to address that first sentence in that second paragraph? Is that what that's designed for? I'm asking because I don't know. When I talked to the lady that's first on the signature,
Miss Jessica.
Jessica, this afternoon, she didn't have any additional information to give me.
This was submitted after the review with planning or traffic in San Antonio to address the entirety of the comments here, his conditional comments. And the only thing that we are lacking with the text dot element that Brian Hoker has requested for the permits themselves are grading. So we have addressed each of these elements that are in his conditional.
Okay, the second sentence says there probably should have been a formal agreement to provide the Flores residents the house located at J.C. Superburger with access to the easement. Has that been done?
Well, he goes on in this email, that has not been done. He goes on in the email stipulating that they are approving the plat, they're approving the TIA and the driveway permits upon the stipulation that CST, the developer, when they move forward, they grant access to that residential development, and that they will not approve anything unless that is done. So that is being stipulated.
They being text dot?
Text dot.
What I'm trying to do, and there's no secret to this, let me just be real clear. If the P and Z makes a recommendation tonight, yea or nay, it's still scheduled on the council agenda tonight, and I'm trying to figure out if the recommendation is for approval, what conditions should it be attached? If the recommendation is not for approval, why that should not be approved. So I'm trying to give you every opportunity to tell me why all these conditions have been met. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I didn't have any more briefing on this than midday today.
Okay.
So I'm stuck with what's in the file.
well, maybe this will help.
Sure.
I think the catch-all
Sure.
is really based on their last paragraph in the comment section,
Mhm.
that the permit applications along with plans for streets, driveways, utilities, drainage and sidewalks must be submitted to TxDOT for review and approval before working on any type of highway right-of-way. So we've got to go back through, correct me if I'm wrong, Terry, if there's a driveway permit that's going to be issued, we've got to go back through and get TxDOT's approval for that permit.
Right, this is, the development of this is a two-step process, and the first one is the unconditional, is the no objection letter, which he has provided. And all the conditions that he has stipulated are for the permitting process of whatever is put there. They would not grant unless all of the stipulations are met. You cannot proceed with the next step. But with this step, with the platting of this process, they have provided the no objection letter. They are simply putting all these stipulations that would stop anybody from developing the next step, which is getting the driveway permits for whatever was put there.
And I'm not sure, I mean, obviously on the first page, these 5 items that they're saying are not shown on the original plat are in fact shown on the plat. So these were their comments to what we needed to add to the plat in order for there to be a no objection letter, which has in fact been done.
Okay.
So as it relates to the comments on their second page, I'm not sure that, I mean, I don't, maybe you guys provided it, I'm not sure that in the second paragraph that we're talking about, a formal access agreement executed with the owners of the ISD may be part of the driveway permit. Well, we've already got a recorded easement that reflects that we've got true access to it. Maybe they weren't provided with this. I didn't provide it to them when I submitted them the plat.
They were provided, before Hoker sent the April 14th email, it was the first time he had seen the access. He had no knowledge of this access agreement.
So
And
I
that is why
think
he
that's a
wrote the
moot
email.
point. I haven't seen
I'm
the-
glad to know the moot points, but I want the committee to have them.
No, I understand. I'm not even familiar with the April 14th email.
Right, it's,
So you're saying there does not need to be an agreement?
There is already an agreement in
Right.
place.
And he had received these documents when he made those comments. In our response to those comments, we sent these agreements to him, and so that has satisfied it. I don't have that email, maybe Mike can.
Yeah,
send it
this
over.
access agreement between us and Floresville Independent School District is dated September 24, 2012.
And that's what addresses your driveway issue.
That is correct.
Okay.
yeah, and if you talk about the second paragraph.
Yeah, what about the Flores residents? Do you have an agreement on that?
There is not an agreement right now, but that's, like I was saying, that's one of his stipulations for proceeding with step 2. If we intend on getting a building permit and intend on getting the official driveway permits, we have to get that done. We have to simply allow the Flores, we have to construct them an access drive to allow them access to whatever is constructed right there. We have to provide them access to move to step 2.
Right, and that access point, again, it's the easement here, not on our property that the school
They own.
district owns, that we have a right of access to,
Right.
that the Floreses would have to reach an agreement with. They don't need, it's not an agreement with CST for, anybody but the school district. We can't, you guys know, we can't grant, access to land that we don't own.
And they're saying that whatever we construct, if we reconstruct that road, which we may or may not, I mean, it's good, it's a good concrete driveway. I mean,
It's
it's a
been
good.
cored and tested, and we have no reason to. And again, this is the Floresville ISD land as being in reference to, so if anything, I think that would have to be clarified more so on the TxDOT level, that that's not ours to grant. What you're requesting is not ours to grant in the first place.
What's being done for this man with Wilson County Auto Parts? Because he potentially has trucks standing in line in front of him and come around behind him, so he's
Surrounding.
surrounded like there's no access to his building.
We won't be affecting any of his frontage.
Where will your
Where your truck
ingress
landing-
egress be on 181?
There is a right in and right out for this for this drive. It's the existing drive.
Actually.
He actually,
As
he
it-
actually has a lay-down curve along the entire frontage of his property. So people are either gonna come in right off of 181, or they're gonna come off of this county road.
And to date, this is a full access, so you can do the left in, left out. TxDOT is requiring that to be a right in, right out. So none of these access points on our property are going to change. If anything, they're being constrained down to right in, right out versus full access.
So he's saying those trucks are never gonna be blocked up right here where they want?
No, this, the
No,
meeting
they
with
won't.
TxDOT, this is a the trucks are not allowed in this driveway at all. They cannot enter or exit out of this driveway. Same thing here, they cannot enter or exit out of this
Kind
driveway.
of like what HEB has across the strip there from Bill Miller's.
So where are your trucks coming in then?
It will come in, at this point, dip into our property line and come back here.
Okay, so let me see if I see this correctly. I'm looking at it across the table, and your map is generally oriented, north is your,
Yeah.
your right hand, more or less. So if you look at it from Mr. Law's vantage point there, and you're looking north, you'll be able to turn right to get in.
Right in.
The term right in
Mhm.
means that
And right
you
out.
have the.
And right out only. So somebody here couldn't make a left in. It has-
Or you can't
Yes, you
make
can
that
now.
movement.
Right.
And they couldn't over there either.
And,
Well,
and,
let me finish if I may,
I'm
I
sorry.
just want to be clear, so everybody can, everybody can be on the program. If you're coming north, you can turn right and get into the service station,
Correct.
Yes.
okay? And right would in this case be to the northeast,
yes, sir.
right?
Correct.
All right, now, are you able to come out and make a right at that same location?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So it's right in and right out.
Yes, only, and it'll have a raised curve.
Like a triangulated.
We kind of call it
Okay, that's
a,
one of those highways.
To stop
yeah,
the lanes.
yeah, we call
Yeah, I
it,
did
kind of
read
call
that.
it a
Yeah.
pork chop is what we call it, and kind of does that number, and to where it's a raised curve, so somebody can't, they're going this direction, they would have to go over curve.
I
So
do it all
it-
the time.
So it prohibits a left turn in.
Okay. All right, so there's gonna be some kind of
There will be a
a
barrier.
centered barrier.
Right,
Yeah.
TxDOT is requiring that of us
Okay.
at this point and this point.
And do you end up getting the privilege of paying for that?
We do.
Of course.
Okay.
I have a question, just on a business sense. From what I'm understanding here, that if you've got a truck that pulls in there, or a vehicle, or a car, and it wants to go south, can't do it.
They can come to this point, take a left out, or they come back to this county easement to the street here, which will also be improved.
So there we go.
The key behind what they were trying to achieve is, there's obviously full movement here
Mhm.
as it stands. What TxDOT's objective was, is to keep distance away from this intersection.
Yep.
And that was the point in which you can you can go south off of this easement.
So we're still gonna have the possibility of trucks coming out of there trying to turn left.
You do have that potential.
But you have that traffic control, one block,
Yeah, you have the traffic.
and
yeah.
there, okay.
Well, HEB has the same problem on the opposite side of the street.
Yeah,
Sure
sure.
does.
So
Sure
it's the
does.
same.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Okay, now, let's go to the 97 if we can.
Yes, sir.
If we go with the same orientation, Mr. Law, I'm looking north again. When you go out, you'll be able to take a right going to Stockdale without any problem.
Yes, sir.
And so you'll turn into the ongoing traffic and pick up speed and keep going until you get down to the little soccer field and be part of the traffic that soccer field faces.
And school.
In school right now.
Okay, then if you want to turn left though, you're going to be crossing oncoming traffic.
You can't make a left-hand turn here.
Out of that
Okay,
one.
so
You
that's
can
a,
make
that's
it
a no left
here.
turn.
You're gonna have your
So
pork chop thing there
these
as well.
these two are very similar.
You're gonna have your pork chop thing.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The only full movement will be at this end of the property and at that end of the property. These two are restricted It's a right in, right out.
And that's typically what TxDOT likes to do on a corner property like this. They want to move their full access drives
Away.
further away.
Okay, then let me ask the other question. Did the 21st document, and this is that, so you know where I'm following from, it's the third paragraph on page 2-2.
That's 21st.
The text dot notification letter.
That's
Okay.
26.
It says also signal operations on 97 and US 181, 181 and Tiger Lane, as well as 97 and Tiger Lane need to be evaluated along with the existing traffic to determine how signal operations will be impacted, the effect on traffic operations on left turns, which will include large trucks at the intersection of Wilson County easement with US 181 also needs to be evaluated. How did they come out on that issue? Because those two turns up there on 97 are pretty close to each other.
And that was the purpose of our meeting with Judy Friesenhahn. Brian asked us to get with her, and she is in the district office out of San Antonio for traffic. And so he was going to default to her, and that was the reason for our April 9th meeting in the email that you have, in which he said,
Yeah, the email
I
just passed
had a
out.
good meeting with Renee Ardondo and Terry Rogers, Scott Haney this morning. I support the approving of the driveways. FYI, we're gonna coordinate the signal ops on 181, 97 East, Tiger Lane, C Street, 97 West, and on 97 East to the school in the coming months. So the effects, the new CST will be accommodated during this exercise such that any degradation in the level of service will be effectively negligible.
Is there gonna be another signal there? I guess is where I'm going.
No, sir. No, sir.
Unless sometime in the
Unless-
future it's warranted,
Okay,
but not at
point.
this time.
Right.
Not at this point. So it's basically a yield type situation if you're leaving the premises.
Are you gonna be geared more toward big trucks,
No, ma'am. No, we.
little trucks?
No, ma'am. We are, CST, we don't even have a truck stop in our 1900 store fleet. And it's not our business model. We are a neighborhood convenience store. In markets like this, there is an opportunity for some of the truck traffic. But no, ma'am, we're a neighborhood convenience store. And
So just to confirm, this is not a truck stop.
to confirm, this is not. a
Will,
truck
did you get
stop.
that?
Do you traditionally put 3 fueling stations in your
Thank
neighborhood
you.
convenience stores?
Sir?
Do you traditionally put 3 fueling stations for diesel?
Your
neighborhood stores?
It depends, you know, where
Depends on the market.
in areas in South Texas where it's warranted, yes. And, you know, if it's in a smaller neighborhood, no. It depends on that. I mean, it's one of the commodities that we're gonna include in the market like this, but no,
How many trucks do you expect to attract an hour at this location?
2 to 3.
3 trucks an hour?
Yeah, that's a home run for us. I mean, we have, I mean, we're getting a little off topic from the plat itself, but we have 20 miles away in Karn City, there is a full-blown Stripes truck stop. In San Antonio, just up the road, there are full-blown Pilot, Flying J truck stops. And-
1604 and 37.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
These guys put in 500 gallons at a time. you
That's
know.
right. And so we are projecting 2 to 3 trucks an hour for this.
So you're gonna be more like a Buc-ee's.
No, sir. No way, no, and that's something
In
else.
terms of traffic for small cars.
No, you know, Buc-ee's, it's a destination location of convenience stores. You know, people
You're not a
people
destination.
wait to go to Buc-ee's. We are really a commodity, not to down our brand, and if our chief marketing officer were in here, he'd read me the riot act, but no,
This is
we,
being recorded.
yeah, we're a commodity convenience store. If they pass us up or if it's too challenging to get in, you know, that's why access is a big issue with us. If it's too challenging to get in, what do? You You just keep on going, go to the next one.
Right. Cheapest gas side. So the Murphys or HEBs.
Well, we hope to be coming in the market and driving that.
Well, we've got one around town, there's one on the 775, but they're not competitive on gas prices.
Right.
There's
and-
one on 181 just north of this intersection.
And just to comments on that, we won't be a Valero unless one of the Valeros go away. We're a customer of Valero, just like a Pruski's, and they will not allow Valeros in the same traffic pattern. And so this is definitely, I mean, you could throw a rock and hit Pruski's.
Right.
And so, chances are we may wind up with our own brand, so on. And so,
I know you've done this sometimes before since you're in the business, but have you started anything with the CEQ on your underground storage tanks?
We've had some, the phase, the environmental studies, we've not started anything with TCEQ to this point, but, I mean, again, it's gonna be a corporately owned store, we've got 1,900 of these, and so it's not a mom and pop, not to say anything against mom and pops, but anything that happens at this store, whether it's, from cleanliness to environmental issues, it goes up to the corporation and jeopardizes the integrity of a publicly traded corporation.
And again, Jim, with that, just like with our Walmart and the H-E-Bs that was built here, we do get TCQ, they do make their inspections, they do coordinate to make sure that the underground tanks are regulated correctly,
Yeah, and-
but incorrectly.
Yeah. On top of their own, the testing they require, I mean, we have volume testing that are going on all the time.
I think you've got to have a certified installer to do it too.
Sure, absolutely. And that won't be an issue.
Just check.
And again, like with all plats, this is for to identify the property, its meets and bounds, all the easements, all the water and sewer that's in the access, that's what this plat is for. Again, they still have to proceed with getting the proper driveway permits, building permits, any variances if required, they still need to come and get all that as well, so.
Other than the forest place over here and the store on 181, are there any other adjacent properties that are impacted one way or the other? The Super Burger and the gas station across from
Sisters.
Yeah, Sisters.
Sisters, I was thinking that, probably actually help them with access at this point. We have plans to improve this. Right now, it's just a laid down blacktop. It's not, it's, it has potholes, it's not seal coated or anything. It would be a concrete drive and improved, and it's not gonna affect them with access or anything like that. If anything, it's taking, the anchor of that area and taking it from a vacant building.
Well, and just to kind of dovetail onto that, I mean, one thing to keep in mind is our property is not adjoining another business, because we don't own this property here, nor do we own that. So those are just both access easements that is a buffer from what it is we actually own.
Board have any more questions, discussion?
Lou, anything else from you there?
I'm still reading.
Okay.
I mean, just another
We'll give you a few minutes.
I've got a question. My question is really to you, Cindy. On all the submittals that we have submitted to staff for their approval, have we followed the proper protocol in terms of what is necessary from the city, in terms of what the plat is currently?
Yes, and that's we want to make sure that before we even present it to P&Z, that everything has been completed, it's gone through our engineer to check all the, like I said, all the requirements that is with the plat. Y'all did address all the comments that he went across. You did provide us with the text dot letter and address it on the plat as well, so yes.
As well as Phelps Electric?
Yes.
to my knowledge, we have done everything required
Yes, sir.
pursuant to the city.
Yes.
And to TxDOT.
Yes.
And the only other thing I would suggest is that traffic analysis of the 21st ought to be part of the record.
There was a new one came out today.
The- With the email that they received.
Right.
What, the traffic count?
Traffic count today, yeah.
I assume it's another thing that looks kind of like this.
Yeah.
Just an
That's the
updated
TIA.
one,
Updated.
Yeah.
That's where he's been busy.
yeah, dated April 14th,
Yeah.
which I printed out, probably left at home.
Yeah.
Been a busy day, guys. It's in my full-time job, you know. No, they don't pay me.
I'm gonna ask which date of it.
You're not gonna do that either.
One more time, coming from the red dot showing TIA, behind that auto store onto the 181. What's the legal right to use that? That's a county road?
It's a county road. Yes, sir. The school district gave Wilson County an access easement. It's still owned by the school district, as is the piece behind us.
So who would be maintaining that?
It would be the county. They have the authority to construct, reconstruct, maintain a road on, upon, and across this right of way.
Yeah, no, I don't have any question that they have the authority. I'm just thinking about maintenance.
Well, the future maintenance would be less, with the reconstruction that would be done, any improvements that would be done by CST, it would be a heavy-duty concrete driveway compared to, or drive, compared to what it is now.
So it would exceed any county requirements or city requirements?
Yes.
It will definitely exceed what, that's for sure.
Built to withstand the weight of the trucks that you expect coming in and out.
All three of them?
Before we get to any proposals on this, I need to inform you that both myself and Teddy Harley will not be voting on this. We have a conflict of interest and will abstain from voting.
Mr. Chairman, I realize we're here just to discuss, and they approve the proper plat and qualified everything as needed by city, and they have met those requirements. I still have a real problem with traffic congestion here. I think it's gonna be a downfall for Floresville because of the traffic, and I'm abstaining from also.
Can I make a comment to that?
Sure.
Okay. My opinion, the traffic's already there, and we've all seen it. This is not gonna make any difference, having a location like this, because those truckers are either gonna pull in, gas up, eat, and continue, or they're gonna keep on going whichever way they're going, north or south. I don't see it as truckers coming from Stockdale all the way over here to gas up there. The traffic is always gonna be there, and it's only gonna get worse whether they're there or not.
And I agree with you, Mayor, about that. It's just, I see a line of trucks that we get into a fuel war or whatever that happens, or what does or doesn't happen. And I see the trucks lined up, down one eighty-one, up and down on 97, trying to get in because they are gonna look for the best price. If it is full, they're still gonna look for the best price. And I think it's a great idea, and I think we need this, and we need the revenue from it, we need the taxes from it. I just don't agree with the location, but I think it's a great concept, and I know Floresville definitely needs this type of thing. My only concern is how to deal with the traffic.
And that's why we've been very meticulous in meeting with every tier of TxDOT, who are the engineers and the professionals with regard to the traffic. They have they have been very stringent in the way that you know, with the handling of the drives there, something that we didn't get around to, you know, they're also requiring a decel lane in here to get people off the road so they can turn in at this right in, right out here. Also widening with a turn lane here. And so there are gonna be improvements to this intersection to handle the traffic and alleviate what the traffic that the mayor's pointed out that is already there, and the improvements of that. And reiterating 2 points, that we're not a truck stop, and also we're not a destination, so we're not creating additional traffic. You know, it's traffic that is already there. We don't generate new traffic. And so, you know, improving those existing conditions, having met with and, you know, received the approvals for the improvements, subject to the improvements that they have lined out. And again, not being a destination where these guys are aiming to go. You know, they don't go out of their way to get here, it's just what's there.
And I agree, and I think y'all done a fine job with what y'all are doing as far as your permits and what you've done, your studies. But I still see a line of trucks right here trying to get in and turn it over to Floresville. And I still see a line of trucks, if you have the right price, over here trying to get in to Floresville. And I think it's gonna impact the other businesses around there as well as the city. You know, do we need you? We need you. And you're not bringing the traffic is already here. I agree 100%. We want the traffic here. It's just the location of that intersection is handling over 30,000 cars a day right now. And if you start this line of trucks, I don't know how you're gonna move them. Because if you get your fuel at, you know, a competitive price, they're gonna stop.
Well, again, they're
That's
not.
what you want to do. That's why you're putting fuel. That's why you're putting in 3 fuel stations. You want them to start.
Right, and that's not an exorbitant amount, that's actually a very small amount. And they're not, again, they're not allowed access here. It's
Well, I
not-
said, well, no, they do. They're right in.
There's the right in. The truck entrance comes back here, in which we will have a turn lane and decels to be able to handle that.
You're saying a truck cannot, any way in the world, turn in here?
They can if they want, but they're not going, with any site plan that is developed, with the CST, there is a traffic flow, internal traffic flow. The traffic flow would not allow them access to the internal fueling stations if they enter that driveway.
Right, and they can't make the turns here to it. It has to happen this way. I mean, you literally cannot make that turn with the truck. We design these, that you have turning radiuses that you map out your sites with and so on, that determine the layout, and it cannot happen. And they recognize that.
I think it's important to, I think you guys, as a planning commission, are asking some really good questions. And I appreciate exactly where you're coming from. I don't know anything about driving a truck. I really don't want to know anything about it, because I probably can't do it. Truck drivers can do some special things, because I've been behind them and I've seen what they can do. I think what the real point is here, sir, is that when you have an intersection like you do out here, and you've got commercial development on 3 of the 4 corners, this property is zoned appropriately for the use that's projected out
For
there.
sure, you're within your rights.
Yeah, that's right.
You're 100%
So-
within your rights.
What the objective is here is, we're not talking about, we probably shouldn't have even shown anybody a site plan. We're not talking about traffic patterns. We were required to do that in the TIA with TxDOT because they have control over the 2 points of access that we have. We're mitigating that access based on what the traffic impact analysis was. The point that we're trying to make here is that we're asking you to approve a plat that has nothing to do with the use. Because the use does not come into play. Because we're trying to make this into a legally lot and block plat. If we didn't have, if Cindy wasn't requiring us to plat it, we wouldn't even be having this meeting. So,
I think I understand what you're saying, and that we're discussing areas that do not involve permission for this particular.
that is correct, and we want to give you the courtesy of trying to answer as many questions as we can.
But the purpose of the commission is to be responsible to the city council for the orderly growth and physical development of Floresville. Therefore, then we have to ask these questions.
I've got no objection to the question, sir. All I'm trying to, the point I'm trying to make is that,
As per my opening statement, let's get the vote on the plat, just the plat. That's it, that's all we need to vote on.
that's right.
I understand.
If Ray abstains, we won't have a quorum.
Are you standing by your intention to abstain? Because I've got to ask my lawyer, city lawyer.
Who's doing what?
Ray is abstaining.
Are you abstaining because of some legal reason or just doesn't want to vote?
The traffic, and then I preface that totally about traffic, it had nothing to do with the plating or whatever like that. I think they're complying with the plat, so we're legally within their right to do what they're doing. I have a problem with the traffic. I misunderstood some stuff here, which you clarified as far as the right in. If you curve, it's gonna be sharp enough to where the trucks can't get in here, you know, or it would be difficult. That does make a difference as far as I'm concerned. I can, based on that, I can retract my statement.
Can I get a proposal from the board, please?
We played this game before, so, based on the fact that I think that, number one, this falls within zoning, and number two, our mandate as a planning and zoning commission basically is to say, does the plat have all the T's crossed and the I's dotted? And they answer their questions, they have. So I will move to approve the plat.
Motion to approve from Jim Holcomb. May I have a second, please?
I second it.
Second by Ray Lambeth. As I mentioned, myself and Teddy will abstain. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You know, can I say something, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
You know, I know y'all guys, we're from here, we're locals, I've been here. We get this done. Of course, y'all are gone to other business. You know, I like the idea of this growth. I think I talked to you on the phone yesterday.
That was the,
My
the
main
other
concern-
guy.
The other
My main
side.
concern is,
Scott's.
okay, my main concern was a lot of pedestrian crossing usage, you know, and I know some of the questions I had, you answered, I didn't have to speak as much, but I kind of wanted to say no for that, because I'm for safety and so forth, you know. I just don't want this to come, bite us in the butt, you know. I know, I can see what Mr. Lambert's on, you know, traffic.
Just about the traffic?
It's not that easy. I know you have, you know, we're a voice for the city. And, you know, we have a great committee. You know, I'm not a political person. I just want to do what's right for the city. You know, majority is, I wanted to say no. But, you know, you having showers here, aren't you?
No,
No showers?
no showers.
Oh,
No
okay.
truck stop.
Okay.
No showers, no diner, no,
Okay.
no
I mean,
extended
I-
parking.
No overnight parking.
No, I just hope, you know, that it abides by this. I know TxDOT's gonna make sure you put this pork chop in there, but I know these 18-wheelers can jump them curves pretty easy. I just don't wanna be responsible for a fatality in this case, but
And
Nor do
since the
we.
committee, is over favored, and I would also say, yeah.
So just to clarify, we have a motion by Jim, second by Ray. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
Two.
Two abstains. We don't count.
Thank you all very much. I'm glad we were able to answer the questions that you all have.
You want to call for adjournment? Be sure.
Oh, sorry.
He's ready to go?
I've got to be in San Antonio in 7 minutes.
Okay.
Have a motion to adjourn, please?
I move that we adjourn.
I second. All in favor, aye, we're done.